All right, so question 6. For the following function, find the x value of the point or points where the tangent line to the curve has a slope of 0. Y equals e to the x times x cubed. So there's a couple of things that we're looking at here. We want to know where the tangent line has a slope of 0. So in order to figure out where the tangent line has a slope of 0, we need to first take the derivative of this equation. You can then use that derivative and set it equal to 0 because the slope is 0. That's going to give all the points where the slope equals 0 because the derivative is the slope. So in order to do the slope of this, we have to do the product rule because we have e to the x times x cubed. So let's say that u is e to the x, and let's say v is x cubed, which makes du e to the x, because the derivative of e to the x is just e to the x. We love that one. And dv is 3x squared. So to find the derivative, you take e to the x times 3x squared. So let me change back to that color. Nope, that didn't work. So we have 3x squared times e to the x. That's the first part of the derivative. The second part is v times du. So we have plus x cubed times e to the x. So there's our derivative. Now, of course, we're not done. We found the derivative. The derivative is the instantaneous slope at every given point, but we want to find when is the slope 0. So we are going to set this entire function equal to 0, and then we're going to solve. Uh-oh, I clicked a button. Some of you might be looking at that thinking, what the heck do we even do? Well, factor it. Factoring it allows you to very easily see your zeros. So I see that both of these have an x squared in common. And they both have an e to the x in common, which leaves us with 3 plus x. Now, each one of these things is a factor. This is a factor, this is a factor, and this is a factor. You need to set each of your factors equal to 0 in order to find all the places that equal 0. Because if x squared equals 0, well, x squared times the next factor times the next factor, 0 times anything is just 0. So, oops. So that's going to be 0. X squared set equal to 0 is just 0. When is e to the x going to equal 0? That's a tough one. It's never going to equal 0. It can't ever equal 0 because it's exponential. And in order to exponentially grow, you have to start with something. And e to the x has a horizontal asymptote at 0. So this one is undefined. That one's not going to give us it. That one will never have a slope of 0. And this one would be when x is negative 3. So we have 2 points in which our tangent line will have a slope of 0. We have at 0 and at negative 3. Now it wants you to find the actual point. No, it just says find the x values of the points. So we're done. When x equals 0 and when x equals negative 3. I love to double check myself. I just love it. So I'm going to click on Desmos. And there's our original equation right there. You see that? There's the original equation. And what we are looking for is, when is the slope of this 0? Well, it looks like right here we've got a slope of 0. And right here we have a slope of 0. Right here and right here. So when you take the derivative, where this would have had a slope of 0, it crosses 0 here. Those are our critical values. Remember that? So we've got a 0 at negative 3 and we have a 0 at 0. And that is exactly what we found here. So in order to solve a problem like this, you must first take the derivative. Remember, derivative means slope, so set that derivative equal to whatever it's asking you to solve for, and then solve it. You can always double check yourself looking at Desmos, and then you can see where it actually equals that value.